Back, my friends, to this mini series on the Contemplative Prayer. And today we want to make step 5, which wants to describe where this journey will take us. And I would say it's into the unknown, so to speak. So, first of all, as we have said, the practice is about the intention and not about our doing. So our will should only be to focus on God's presence within and nothing else. And that's what we need the Holy Word for. It's our handrail to lead us deeper into the inner silence and this innermost space within our souls where God resides within us. And so that's our only will in this practice. All else would be our ego wanting to achieve anything. And that's not what this path is about. So our will has very little meaning in this whole process. The only necessary will is to focus and nothing else. And all the rest is receiving. There will be things happening to us and for us from the other side, but we are not doing them. It's about our complete devotion to the divine presence within us. That's what counts in the end. So we could say the less we try to do anything, the more we get ready to receive. And another thing is true also. The less we want to know about the results of the whole thing, the more we get ready to receive. So it's a path of pure faith and waiting in patience without any expectation. That's what contemplative prayer is about. And it literally makes no sense to wait for anything because you can't and you don't know what to wait for. So it's not about us, but really the presence of the divine and what has been found to be true is that when God breathes his love into our being for a split second, you wouldn't wait to throw everything away for this experience. But these little nuggets of gold, they are gifts to us, and you cannot make them happen. So in a way, this whole path is like a voyage into the unknown, and in a way we follow Christ on his path. We give up all our plans, our structures, our security systems. In a way, we forget ourselves, which is the hardest thing to do, but also the most rewarding thing to do. And on this path, our ego, which always has a plan or an idea how things should look like, will slowly but surely get more and more quiet. And perhaps you ask yourselves, what force will give us the momentum to stick to this journey? It's the longing to experience the divine presence and in God's unconditional love deep within our souls. That's what gives us the drive to stick to such a path. So the direction is we get more and more into an inner silence and a deep inner peace, which will expand into our lives, and we go into that later. And the more we practice, the more it gets to our normal state of mind. But in the beginning, we have to integrate all the inner experiences into our lives, especially when there are sudden breakthroughs on the path, which can happen. So that being said, we have to come to another little point, and I will go into that later again, which is there will be the experience of crisis on the path to this belongs to it. Because between two stages of spiritual development, there will always be a crisis, and this can be a short one or a very big one. Sometimes these spiritual crises, they can take years, literally. And this will always come up when a part of our ego dissolves and we are led to a higher stage of consciousness. Because we will have one or two videos in steps, I guess 7 or 8. I don't want to go into this in a very deep way now, but what is true is that if we resist this experience of crisis, it will persist, and it is very important to allow those phases, even though they are very painful and can take quite a long time. Ego will always give us a fight, and this is really not so easy, and sometimes it's good to have, let's say, someone who understands about this journey to talk to, because you can get very lonely on this path sometimes. So the mystics have described these phases of the path. Let's take St. John of the Cross, the Spanish mystic. He described the dark night of the soul in a beautiful poem and wrote a commentary about it. And he distinguishes two, let's say, kinds of crisis. And I will go into that later. So this shall be enough for today. So this is a journey into the unknown, but a very rewarding journey because it leads us into freedom, into the experience of the divine presence within. And it is a very beautiful thing if you come closer to that. Sometimes on this path, God doesn't seem to listen to us or our prayers. And again, this is not so easy if you face such a situation. But the great contemplative Thomas Keating, he had an answer to this. And I want to close with this sentence from him. When he was asked, why isn't God listening to my prayers? He said, why should he? In not answering our prayers, he gives us what we prayed for the most, which is transformation. And this is a very wise and beautiful, and let's just stop with this beautiful sentence of Thomas Keating. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you find this helpful. If so, give me a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, my friends. Bye-bye.